Very important one. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which is a good reminder that we all need to take care of each other. So we brought in Connie Phillips, who's the Executive Director of the Sojourner Center, to talk about National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
I am very glad to have you because we were just discussing it is a topic that most people don't talk about until it's needed.
Right. Right.
Why did you have to create a month to create the awareness?
Domestic violence is one of these issues that happens to so many people. It's so prevalent. It actually happens to 1 in 4 women in her lifetime. So it's far more prevalent than breast cancer, which it's, Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Right.
It's far more prevalent than many other issues that affect families, but yet we act like it's some kind of aberration. We wouldn't know anybody. It wouldn't happen to anybody, like me. So Domestic Violence Awareness Month is an opportunity to talk about this issue, to raise awareness, to say this is an important topic. We need to have a dialogue. People need to know that there's resources, they can get help. They aren't trapped in these relationships.
Well, and I think because it is a topic that people are embarrassed about, afraid to talk about, what are some of the things that we can do? We mentioned in introducing you, if we recognize it and see that it might be happening to someone close to us, and they need some help, what can we do to reach out to them and help them?
The first thing to remember about reaching out is that women and any victim is so embarrassed and ashamed. And the abuser has told them that, people will think you're crazy, people will think you're a bad mother, people will think you're doing this. And so they have all of these messages in their head about other people finding out and what bad things will happen. I could lose everything. And so they're afraid and they're ashamed and they're embarrassed. So it's so important if you're concerned for a friend or a family member to say, I'm concerned for you. I'm really worried about what I'm seeing. This doesn't look right. This doesn't happen. My husband doesn't do this, or my boyfriend doesn't do this.
This isn't normal.
This isn't normal. And because the woman is thinking, is this normal? Right. He kind of acts like it's normal. Am I crazy? What am I doing? It's a crazy-making kind of thing. And so for you to reach out and say, I'm concerned for you, but also not push it, because if she says, oh, no, just know you've planted the seed, and let her know, hey, I was watching a show, I learned about an organization, to be able to plant little seeds, but being careful, because you don't want to leave something that the abuser would see, and you don't want to create anything.
More problems. Right. All right, well, let's talk about the organization, and you're a great resource. The Sojourner Center is a place for women and their children to go to.
Right.
So what type of services do you provide, and how do they get to you? How can they? Do they just show up?
Some do. However, Sojourner Center is an emergency shelter as well as transitional program, and we have programs for people who are not leaving their homes. They have a home. They don't need a residential program. Okay. So anyone who is experiencing domestic violence or has experienced domestic abuse in the past, we serve those families. People often say, why don't women just leave? Why don't they take their children and go? And they do, but women need 2 things. They need a safe place to go, and they need support when they get there.
Right.
And that's what we do. We offer that emergency support. You can walk out of your house, you could come over just like you are now, and we'd be able to provide your needs.
With additional resources.
Right.
I mean, not only providing them a safe place to be, but other information that they and resources that they might need in order to make that transition in their life.
We do 3 things: safety, empowerment, and transformation. Safety is so important because domestic violence is about power and control. It's not about loss of control. It's about someone who's deliberately using tactics to control the other person. And so when the woman leaves, when a victim leaves, it really raises the chance that there'll be a violent incident. That's when you read about deaths and injuries. So it's important that the safety is there when women first come. And then you're learning to make choices for themselves, and then just creating new lives for themselves. Knowing, though, that they will always have to safety plan, because the choice to use violence and abuse, that belongs to the abuser, not the victim.
Wow. Well, a plethora of information you are, and certainly a safe haven for lots of women out there. And thank you for educating us and creating some awareness. And of course, we're going to have all of the information to the Sojourner Center on SonoraLiving.com.